In this video, we'll talk about how to build a table. Let's say example. Here we have a class schedule. Then we have a class name, date of week, start time, end time, and building. We will name a new tag is table. And inside the table, we have a row, let's be TR. We have a heading, TH, TD will be cell. We have other tags, but we will talk about those later. First, let's develop an example like this. So we start with this structure. We should start with table. We need to close the table. And inside the table, we have first row. Remember, we need to close the row. The first row will be heading, so we use a TH. It will be course name, and we need to close the TH. So the same thing. To save some time, I just copy because we all use the TH. So nothing special. I just copy those content. I don't need a type here, but we all use the TH. Okay, and save it. You can say we have table. I have a TR is a row. We have TH. Don't forget to close it. Then let's say what do we have? We get a heading row. Then we need to add another row as data. So we have TR again, close the TR. And for the data, we will have TD. So first we'll say IS 3303. We close it, slash. Again, I just copy it. We don't need to type here. Okay, then we have TD. And save it. And let's say, what do we get? Reload the code. So this is the data. This is the heading. Let's repeat. We need a multiple row. So I just copy this row. But before we do that, because in this example we have a heading, we have the name of class. Actually, those names are linked. How to add a link in a table? Then we can, here, you can say on this position, and before the name of class, we put the anchor, href, equal to, you can put any address like http, www, like Mansfield. Don't forget to close it, slash. So here, the anchor should be inside the TD. Like the anchor totally should be inside the TD. Okay, then let's say what we reload the code. So it's a link. Then we just copy this row 4 times. We want to 4 rows. 1, 2, 3, actually 3 times. This is what we get. Okay, now we have the table. So by the table, we then say we have a table tag, we have a row tag, we have a heading tag, we have a cell tag. Then inside that cell, we can have anchor. So that's about how to develop a table like this. We also can style in the table. For example, we can put a different background color or put some border. So first, let's do with the table. We can add the border for a table. So here, use CSS. For CSS, we have a table. We can put some border, like we have a border. We have a solid blank 1 pixel. We get a border for the table. We also can get a border for the cell, the TD. So we can use TD. I just copy here. But for TD, I want a different, let's use different color. What's the color? Like blue. Okay. Save it. Reload the code. So you can say we have a border for table, we have a border for cells that are different. Also, among different cells, we have some space. If you want to increase the space inside the border, here inside the border, we can say border spacing, like a 15 pixel. This way we can increase space among borders or among cells. You can say we're increasing the space horizontally and vertically. Sometimes if you don't want the space, then we can use, for the inside the table, we use collapse. What's that? So let's try it. Say, again, inside the table, this is the property of a table. So inside the table, we use a border collapse. So once we control the border collapse inside the table, let's see what we get. So we get something like in our example, we don't have a space. Here you can say, why this happen? This is because look at our code. So here we have a room, but here we don't have something match with the heading. But we will use this as an example. So assume we have like a room of 207. We put a TD here, TD 207, close it. Let's see what we get. We have 207. Assume all those class in 207 means we don't want to have 4 cells. We want to have 1 big cells. How to do that? Means this cell 207 will cross 4 rows. We use row span, like say for here, inside the TD space, have row ROW span equal quotation 4. Reload the code. Can you see it? So in this way, for 1 cell, we can have a big cell. Same thing we can do, like say, for the building. We can have for multiple, like say, we can have for column COLSPAN equal to 2, means this will cross 2 columns. Let's see what we get. Like this cell cross 2 columns. So that's about the border of the cells and the column span, row span, and background color. Because in a table, we have row, we have a cell, then we may use listing selector. What's that? Okay, let's say example. Say let's delete this and make it look better. Here we have 1 table. I copy this table, Ctrl C, and some space, Ctrl V. So we have 2 tables here. For first table, I name it as assign ID. Inside the table, ID equal to T1. And for table 2, inside the tag space, ID equal to table 2. And save it. Let's see what we get. So you can say we get 2 tables. But we want to control those tables differently for the cells. For example, for table 1, For the TD, like say, I want to get the color, different background color. Like say for table, because it's ID for its hash sign T1. In table 1, for the cell TD, we get the color, like a red. And for I copy it. For table 2, for the cell TD, I want the color be blue. Let's see what we get. Reload the code. Can you see it? So for the table 1, we have the color as red. Table 2 color as blue. But for the, you can say we didn't change the color of the link because the default link, remember, control by default link is blue. Okay, so this example for nesting. So you can say this is a table. Inside the table we have a cell. This other table we have a cell. So that's an example for nesting. For the table 1, we have different color. Table 2, we have another color. We also can add other tag like the caption. What's the caption? I will delete table 2, make the example simple. Also, because the table 2, I don't need the color. I delete the color, make it simple. Say, what do we get? Okay, we only have one table. Let's put a caption, say, inside the table, but before the row, we put a caption. Next, the schedule. Close it. Save it. Reload the code. We get the caption here. So that's caption. Sometimes we want to control the column. For example, control the background color of the column. We can use the column group and the column. How to do that? Say in our example, we have for example, we can want to control the second column, control background color. So in our coding, in this position, we have a column group. Column group, and then we need to close it. Slash. Inside the group, the COL, this is the first column. This is second column. The second column, we can control it. For example, say we can use a style equal to background color, like a light blue. So you can say we control the second column, the background as light blue. So that's the example. First, we need to create a column group. The first one by order. This one will be first column. This one will be second column. How about sometimes we can control multiple columns? We can use a span, like a column. We can use a span equal to 2. This means we want to control 2 columns. So reload the code. You can say we control 2 columns because we use the span equal to 2. So that's about column group and column. We also have T head, T body, T foot. What's that? So in our example, the first row is heading. We can use this as T head. T head means the head of the table. We close it. T head. In the middle, we can have T body. We want to the 1 row, 2 row, 3 row. We want those 3 row as T body. Close it. The last row we want to use as T foot. You close it, slash T. So why do we need this? Because by adding the head, body, and foot, we can have a better control of the structure. So for example, in our example, say, except because the last row is a foot, we want to control the color of the foot. We can use T foot, the color, okay, red. Can you see it? We can control it. Or, like say, for the T body, we control the color as brown. Save it. Reload it. So the T body, T foot, and T head can give us a control for the structure. So that's about the table. We have learned, like say, T table. It's include everything. This is a row. This is a heading. This is a cell. We also learn caption. We add the caption to a table. This is the column. Column should be used inside the column group. We can change the background color for a column group. We can have T head, T foot, and T body. So this is about how to build a table. In next video, I will demonstrate how to use a table to control alignment of images.